This little poem I made up is a true story told to me by somebody in Portainan, and it's about a horse that was retired from the course, as it were, and he became the undertaker's horse, and this is a true story, and it's entitled The Swimmer. The horse was king in days gone by. He did the job of tractors, and oil lamps were electric light, no nuclear reactors. He'd pull the binder to cut corn, or plough and roll all day, haul the market trap to town, or pull a sweep of hay. Some horses did specific things, like pull the brewer's dray, drag the milk cart round the streets, his master to obey. The creature that I speak of had retired from the course and taken on an easy life as undertaker's horse. She'd stand outside a sombre church while mourners bowed their heads, no rattle from a harness brass as graveside prayers were said. She also had a part-time job, this handsome Clydesdale beauty. She'd pull the lifeboat out to sea while sailors did their duty. Whene'er the rocket flares went off, she'd heard the boom before, and knew then that this signal meant her presence on the shore. She loved the water round her girth as she swam out to sea, and every time the flares went up, she'd be first at the quay. My tale starts at Portainan Church, one bleak November day. A funeral there at 3:30 pulled by this handsome bay. The undertaker in his seat, the reins held firm in hand. Between old Blossom and himself he was in full command. As she pulled up alongside the church, the men their hats did doff. The bearers moved up close, and then the rocket flares went off. The mare forgot her place this once, and to make matters worse, she took the funeral to the beach, the coffin and the hearse. The family of their deceased had watched the mare run free. Interment at the church we want, not burial at sea. The undertaker calmed her down, for she was very nervous, apologised to all concerned, then finished off the service. Once home that night he told his wife, "Oh Mary, 'twas so grim," and vowed that next time he would buy a horse that could not swim.
In 1996, on her birthday, which was in May, I wrote her a poem in her birthday card. And when she died, her daughter found it, she'd kept it, and it was read at her funeral. The Gritton was our playground. Woods and fields were our domain. We knew every hedgerow, we knew every lane. Every gooseberry bush and apple tree were mapped out in our brain. We skinny dipped and sheep dipped, drove tractors, carried bales of hay, and when we'd had enough of that, we just went off to play. Every blackberry bush and hazelnut we knew for miles around. We knew where the best conkers could be found upon the ground. We thought we were the only ones who knew about the pound. We shared our sweets, our thoughts, our dreams. We shared our troubles too. Most days were good, the bad were just a few. When you look back at those innocent times, picking primroses in a ditch, it's when you realise, yes, we were rich.
I'm Tom Roderick, and this is a poem about a friend of mine, Derek Gummer, who used to live in Skirlage. It's called "Lest Father Holds the Rope." In the good old days, the folks of Skirlage got their water from the Skirlage well, which only dried up in the summer after a real long hot spell. Now Skirlage has changed a lot since then, and few people know where the well's about. In fact, what people now call Skirlage is really Corner House. But the well is in the same place, which was inside the hedge till hence the road hedge of Skirlage Castle Farm was replaced with a fence. The well had a large steel lid with a bucket on a rope, and if someone carelessly closed the lid, the rope was easily broke. Many buckets were lost down to the bottom, so when it dried up about 1933 or 4, the ones that used it got together to retrieve them all once more. Frank and Nellie Coghlan, who had the farm at the time, had a meeting with the cottagers for someone small to find. And it was young Derek Gummer of Letton House, now the Willows, who became their only hope. But he said, I'm not going down there, unless father holds the rope. At the age of 6 or 7, it was only his father he would trust. So with Bob Phillips and Fred the shop, and his father as a must, Derek was raised and lowered till all the buckets were retrieved. The last person to have gone down that well, if I am to be believed. In 35 the mains came, but back then their only hope to get their buckets back was if father held the rope.